have any unforced errors. If we do, there'll be a dogfight right to the end.
It's been a pretty awful 2004 so far for Scotland, but Stuart Grimes there, the Newcastle player, has been one of our more consistent performers, hasn't he?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yes. He's playing instrumental for his club at Newcastle and hopefully can bring it through today. I think what we'll find, Stuart is a great athlete, very mobile, he'll be around everywhere. I think he scored a try in the last game as well, so hopefully he can pull one off today again.
Well, on this Remembrance Weekend, there's a minute's silence before the kick-off, and that's one which will have a particular poignancy here in Perth. It's the home of the Black Watch.
Thank you. Would you please remain standing as the national youth choir of Scotland lead us in the Japanese national anthem. And now, Flower of Scotland.
Well, it's a historic moment. It's the first full international ever to be played north of the Forth. We're looking forward to it. Let's hand over to our commentary team, Andy Nicol trackside, and we'll hear firstly from David Soul and John Beattie.
Thank you very much, Dougie. Well, the football pitch has been transformed for rugby. The grass is short. The pitch just a metre shy of full size each side. The Scots have made 5 changes from the team for Australia a week ago. 3 exiles brought in, as is John Petrie, who's been playing well for Glasgow all season, and Hugo Southwell earns a start after his try-scoring display at Murrayfield. By contrast, it's an inexperienced Japanese side. 3 players earn their first caps, although there's bulk in the shape of Ryo Yamamura, who's a former sumo wrestler at prop, and Yukio Motoki in the centre provides the wherewithal. The 33-year-old wins his 69th cap today. And the referee this evening is a well-known face in rugby. He's Andrew Cole, from Australia. It's a sellout here at McDermott. The few empty seats we expect to be filled very quickly as people make their way into the ground. So Dan Parks starts this Abbey Test match with the Scots, knowing that if they want 2 wins out of 4, they need this one this evening. It hasn't gone 10. It will be a scrum to Japan.
Well, it's not a great start for Scotland, and an unforced error there from Dan Parks. He really ought to get that kick 10 metres, because they had Japan on the rack a little bit there.
Engage.
Free kick to Japan. They head left, and they will play with fluidity. Again down that blind side, Sawaki. And forced into touch on what is a slightly narrow pitch, David.
Yes, a lot of controversy last weekend about Murrayfield being reduced in its dimensions, but I think it's up to both sides to adapt to that. I'm sure Japan, they always have plenty of pace, so they'll want to move it wide, although their star wingers from the World Cup aren't playing tonight.
Well taken by Grimes. Heading towards their own 10-metre line. And they'll probably try to do this all game to tire the Japanese out. Cussiter at the back. Hogg with a scrum cap. Jacobson picks and goes. Oh, and Jacobson's right the way through. Looks out, finds Cussiter. Cussiter finds Hogg, and Hogg is in for a try already.
Well, just the start that Scotland wanted. A good drive, you said it, John. They'll want to tie them in up front, and then no defence close to the ruck and maul there. I thought Jacobson might have fancied his chances there, gone all the way, but a good pass from Cussiter as well, and Hogg just too much pace. Easy score, just the start that Scotland wanted.
Well, this was great work by Jacobson. He looked outside, found Cussiter. Cussiter found Hogg, celebrating just his 10th cap over for that try.
Well, absolutely delighted, and rightly so. Little mistake by Parks at the kick-off. Try in the corner a couple of minutes later.
Patterson, remember, just 10 points behind Andy Irvine. He can go into second place in the all-time list of Scottish scorers, and he slots that for 2 points. Patterson with the conversion. Scotland in the lead by 7 points.
Well, that's the most difficult kick in rugby, isn't it? Wrong side, right on the touchline. What a boost for Scotland.
Well, Alistair Hogg's already scored 2 tries for his country. That was his 3rd. Takes him up to 15 points. Debut, of course, earlier this year against Wales. Just 6'3" Hogg, which for number 8's not that tall, but really coming onto a game, and that's just the start the Scots wanted.
Well, I think Alistair Hogg was one of the players of the RBS Six Nations last year. If he carries on with this sort of form, he could even be on that Lions tour to New Zealand at the end of this season.
Grimes again steals Japanese possession. Buller finds Parks, long to Henderson. Oh, there are spaces. Miyushi, this big number 8. Matoki, the centres in there. Just inside the Scottish half, it's a kick ahead. Lamont has to chase back. He's being chased by Kubota. Back it goes. And Cussiter clears. Knocked on though, says Mr. Cole.
Well, that was intelligent play by Aikida, the scrum half. Lamont was up, so it was a good box kick. He just tried to ground it. I think he thought the ball had crossed the line, but actually it's a nudge forward there. Intelligent play by Japan.
Good disruption by the Scots, but the Japanese have it. Ikeda to Sawaki, behind Kubota. This is good stuff from the Japanese, right in front of the posts. Out wide left, long pass. It's a try for Daimon. Well, the Japanese straight back into this.
Well, I thought there was crossing somewhere in the middle. You can't see it from that camera angle. That was actually the try. But well taken, a lovely floated pass.
Well, if the Scots thought this was going to be an easy evening, the Japanese proving they can move this wide. And that was a very good try by the Japanese. Daimon there, wide pass.
Well, opportunistic. Great finishing by the Japanese. And just the strike back that they came. But they were put into position by the intelligent box kick by Ikeda, which led to that 5-meter scrum.
Score stays at 7-5 to Scotland.
Well, just the sort of hit back. Now, here we are. That was the scrum. Now, watch in the middle of the field here. I think there's some crossing in the Japanese centres there. There, you see, running right in front, takes out a defender, and then comes in. That should be a penalty to Scotland.
Cussiter. Parks finding spaces, has Hogg with him. Cussiter. That's sound tackling by the Japanese. They're just over the Japanese 22. Parks. Southwell has McFadden to Henderson to Lamont. Oh, he's knocked it on.
Well, the rate the scoreboard's going, I thought that was a definite try there. Clear overlap there. Pass just a little bit behind. South. Dear me. There was a knock on which led to the 5-meter scrum at the other end of the park, and then he knocks the ball on again. You don't want to forget both those, Lamont.
Keep square, stay square. Crouching hold. Engage.
Jacobson doing well on this loose head. He certainly has the ex-sumo wrestler Yamamura under pressure. Chunk Jacobson, an appropriate nickname.
Engage.
Well, the Japanese are flooding in defence, but this time it's a penalty to the Scots.
John Petrie was picked out by Matt Williams during the week for his pace and the pick-up off the back of the scrum. Just stepped inside there, but just a little bit untidy by Scotland.
Well, Petrie's 6'4", 17 stone 3, scored 1 try. Last start at number 8 was against Wales in the 2003 World Cup warm-up international, taken by Hogg. Out to Bullock. Bullock has blue jerseys either side. Hines has McFadden with him. Parks, pass behind, it's a bit untidy. Patterson. Japanese defence is sound. Cussiter, Parks, Jacobson, that looked like crossing. That was crossing, says Mr. Cole.
Well, it's interesting. Parks going for the catch and or the touch line for the last penalty. I think just at this stage in the game, I'd have taken 3 points, get the cushion on. Well, here's the penalty for crossing by Scotland. Alan Jacobson popping up all over the place this evening, enjoying his outing there. There it is, Gavin Kerr running in front of him. But I think they just need to calm themselves down. They don't need to win the match in the first 20 minutes. It's the last 20 minutes, and then that's when they can really turn the screw, Scotland.
Good steal. McFadden knocked on by Kerr. Chance for the Japanese to counter. That's Miyushi, the big number 8. Good linking play. Scots drive them back. Hogg is in there. Ikeda tries to get the ball. Penalty to Scotland.
Stay up. Off your feet.
And just a couple of early unforced errors.
Ball's on the blue side.
Well, only 3 of these Japanese have more than 10 caps. 2 types of rugby in Japan, principally university rugby and corporation rugby. Some ex-All Blacks are on salaries of $200,000 a year to play rugby in Japan.
Pillar's all right. Offside line. meter.
10 minutes gone. Remember, that clock is governed by the match official. And when it says 80 minutes, that's 80 minutes. Cussiter finds Hines. Kerr. Big, strong prop.
Rock, heads off.
Well, I'm sure Matt Williams is going to want Scotland to dominate the pace of this game and control the pace of this game, but it all seems to just be a little bit frenetic at the moment for the guys.
Wind up, keep square.
Just need to calm down a little bit. Just
engage.
Control the set pieces and build the
Stay
platform.
down, stay down.
It's at Petrie's feet. Parks, this is the move they scored with against Australia. And just not enough of sound passing. And that is Motoki, this experienced centre.
As you called it, that's the move which worked so well 7 days ago, but again, pass to Southwell, not good. Just a little early on his run.
Waiting. Engage.
Here's Matt Williams, beside him Big Willie Anderson, played for Ireland of course, now the forwards coach. Miyushi, very industrious forward, picks from the base and goes. Sawaki, dangerous kick, picked up by Petrie, he's in form. Oh, Lamont just gets a hold of Kubota, this very nippy winger. Hinchelwood. Cussiter, Parks, spinning it wide, Southwell. Very loose pass from Southwell. Miki, the fullback, sends Parks to within his own 22. Parks just sizes up the situation and puts that deliberately sliced kick in.
Well, you just sense that they might think it's been too easy. They scored a very good try early on in the game, and they're trying to give passes which are marginal. It's marginal against the best of opposition, but 13 minutes into the match, just get some control.
Yamaoka with the throw. Ikeda, Sawaki, Motoki. Jacobson then with the tackle.
Let it go now, let it go.
Ikeda, Sawaki, wide to the fullback, Miki. It's a game where the defences are on top, David.
Yes, it is, and you mentioned Japan so dangerous in the counter-attack. If it is a loose match and the conditions are perfect, it is quite cold out there, but the conditions are absolutely perfect.
Take a step back,
It shouldn't be slippery at all. But if Scotland do make errors, then Japan will capitalise.
Oh! Well, Hines appeared to take his man's, a bit high. Very, very high.
Watch the Japanese secondary. He goes up there. Oh, that's interesting. Pull of the hair.
I think that's as high as a tackle can be.
ungentlemanly conduct, I would suggest.
Again, that interesting little ploy of the deliberate slice. Scotland and Japan have only met in 2 full test matches, both at World Cups. In '91, Scotland won 47-9. David Saul was the captain.
Must stop at the line, guys. Must stop. Must stop. Number up now, Blue. 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1.
Well, this Japanese line-out's working well today. Ikeda, Sawaki, great hands.
There was a lovely pick up there. Little knock on before him.
Bind up.
That's where the knock on was.
Go.
Look at that pick up there, right off his shoelaces.
Stay off the scrum.
Petrie breaks from the back of the scrum.
It's a ruck. Hands off.
McFadden's in there to help. Cussiter, another knock on by the Scots. The Japanese are faced by a bouncing ball. Back to Miki, this rangy fullback. Sends it long to Southwell. He's outside his 22. Finds Patterson. Patterson. Well, Park's got man on ball. Play on, shouts Mr. Cole.
One. Yep. Right there. Holding red. Holding.
Motoki. Southwell.
Holding blue.
This isn't the kind of game the Scots will have anticipated playing.
No, I don't think so. It's again, it's all quite frenetic. Lots of errors by Scotland. 10 errors, and a lot of those handling errors.
Guys, 10.
Many of them unforced. And again, comes back to the control.
These 2 Japanese second rows are only 6'3" and 6'4", but they've been doing well in the line-out. Kiso, though, 6'5", open side wing forward. Again, into the midfield. Motoki to Southwell, pointing at Lamont. Lamont supports. Big wall of Japanese defenders. That was a very good kick chase. Parks.
Well, that's one of their most experienced players, Motoki, winning his 69th cap tonight.
Number up, red.
Plays for Kobe Steel. Many of these Japanese players, of course, do play for big Japanese corporations. Cussiter to Parks to Henderson. Used his feet well, Henderson. Through the first line of defence. Cussiter to Grimes. Beautiful take by Petrie. Hines to Bullock. That was better. 2 Japanese just lying injured.
Well, that was much better by Scotland. Good drive by Grimes, offloads in the tackle.
Time out.
Petrie, and then just forcing it a little bit. Hines couldn't hold it.
Line out, make sure the guys stay
But that's
clean.
better. It's more conventional, it's more controlled. Put some phases together.
Yeah, it was okay in the end. It was so long to throw it in, but they had time then to match up.
It's big Hajimo Kiso there, the number 7. Tallest player in the Japanese side. Just being spoken to by Mr. Cole.
Come on. Crouch and hold. Engage. Steady, Blue, steady.
Well, it's nice to see the Scottish scrum really attacking this Japanese scrum. Alan Jacobson having a bit of a field day against a sumo wrestler. Mind you, Alan Jacobson's shape would maybe have a good chance of in the ring himself, would he not?
Up. That's all right. It's a good meter.
17 stone 12 is Jacobson.
Go. Step over, red all the way.
Grimes, Jacobson, Cussiter, Bullock. Japanese first-time tackling so far has been very good. Hogg slips it to Henderson. Henderson into Mickey. He has Hines right on him. Cussiter snaps away. Parks, there are plenty of men on the left here. Patterson off his wings. Southwell is over. Try number 2 for the Scots from Hugo Southwell. 19 and a half minutes gone.
Well, that was a well-worked try by Scotland. Again, very straightforward. Again, that's the finish, but it was all set up by a great angle from Andy Henderson coming up the middle. Ball a little bit untidy again for Cussiter coming out, but well finished. They had plenty of men over it. It was just a straightforward run in the end for Southwell.
Well, Patterson's already scored 2 points tonight. He is 8 behind Andy Irvine to get into the second place all time. He is now 6 points behind Andy Irvine.
And that's 2 conversions from 2 for Chris Patterson. Scores now Japan 5, Scotland 14.
Well, this is where it came in. A little bit untidy for Cussiter, but then Alistair Hogg tidies up, and a great angle from Henderson. And that's where the ruck set up. And it was just a straightforward overlap. You see all the Japanese defence in complete disarray. They were all loaded out to the left. And Scotland had about 3 or 4 players who could have scored that try. Very well worked.
Petrie takes, finds Kerr. Cussiter looks for Parks. Parks just puts this one way upfield into Miki. Miki with Kubota. And that runs into touch. Scots will be a little more comfortable. 14 points to 5.
Yes, you just sense they're settling into the pace of this game, Scotland, beginning to control, putting a lot of pressure on the Japanese at the scrum time. Well, dominating possession and territory, but not by a substantial amount at the moment.
Well, that worked to their advantage. Petrie, who has really been in outstanding form all season. Well, both those went backwards. Jacobson rumbled on. Cussiter, Parks, Henderson had a few men outside him, keeps the ball alive. Lamont way off his left wing. He's brought solidly to ground as the Scots come back, and they've got men left. Parks takes it up very short. Another good line from Bullock. Patterson will stand off this time. Grimes way out in the wing. He's knocked over. Patterson finds Parks. Hinchelwood.
Rock!
Hogg is there. Takes the gamble down this short side. Bullock. Well, he ran into a brick wall there, but there's a penalty to the Scots. Just outside the 22.
On the touch, Judge.
And I've been impressed by Andrew Cole. He's been talking to the players all along. He's been saying back foot, keeping an eye on the Japanese defenders. And that time he pulled them up. But good patient build up by Scotland, moving the ball either side. Gordon Bullock running into a solid brick wall. That was where the penalty came from. And good to see Scotland just taking the points. So absolutely what I would do, I think, at this stage in the game.
Patterson has now scored 6 of the 10 he needs to get up to Andy Irvine. And the Scots 17-5 in the lead. Well, that's where Cussiter is so dangerous. Grimes. Now, Grimes is a real athlete. 6'5", 17 stone, the big Newcastle second row, but more than happy in the open field. But the Japanese nearly turned that one over. Parks with these big, long passes. Henderson stays on his feet.
No, waiting.
Very nimble passes. Patterson. Oh, he should be in. Good score by Chris Patterson.
Well, a very well worked try there by Scotland. They didn't have a great deal of room to work in down this tight side, but a lovely step by Patterson. Here we go. Great hands by Southwell as well. And just a step. He perhaps should have offloaded to Lamont there, but he'll take the point himself.
It's a very important try for Patterson because it takes his tally this evening to 11 points. 3 conversions and a try. He now moves up into second place in the all-time list of Scottish point scorers.
And actually just Scotland settling down into this game. The ball retention has been good, the recycling has improved an awful lot. They're not trying to make the forced passes, it's much more controlled and just a little bit more patience.
And that successful conversion means that Chris Patterson's personal points tally for this game is now 14. And the score is Japan 5,
Just as you were saying, David, the passes were clean, they were accurate. Patterson, with those very fast feet of his, just got in behind this Japanese defence for try number 3 this evening for the Scots.
Come on. Leave it 5. Onside. Onside. Number 3.
This is becoming more adventurous. Southwell with a long, accurate left-footed kick.
Well, it's interesting, he actually had men over there as well there if he wanted to shift it by hands, but I think his forwards wouldn't necessarily thank him. Begin to build an attack from a better position.
Kiso won that one easily. Kiso. Scots advancing to within 10 metres of the line-out before the line-out had finished or moved off its mark. And Mr. Cole says it's a penalty to the Japanese. Tony McFadden, the transgressor. Again, another man who's been playing well, 7th cap, hasn't scored. Debut way back in 2002 against Canada. Same size as Neil Back. Lightest Scottish forward on the pitch, 14 stone 7, just 5'10". Japanese then, just 5 metres out from this Scottish line. 19 points adrift, being driven back by the Scots.
That's twice half, move it, get it out, get it out.
Referee telling them to get it out. Sawaki dragged down short. Again they go open, good defence.
Leave it, 7, leave it. That was a ruck. That was a ruck, definitely.
He looks aggrieved, but he's a master of the dark arts, is McFadden. If there's a ball on the ground, he will be near it.
Well, I think he brings a great balance to this Scottish back row.
well on this side.
It's great to see Scotland with a genuine open side who competes for the ball on the deck. You see, Australia have gotten in Phil Waugh and George Smith. You mentioned Neil Back for England. All the really good sides, Richie McCaw for New Zealand, all the really good sides have an open side who goes in there and competes for the ball on the deck. And I think Donny McFadden's a super player.
Worryingly, I can see Stuart Grimes going off. As Sawaki strokes the 3 points to take Japan up to 8 points. And Stuart Grimes has left the field, and Scott McLeod will be coming on. There he is, big Scott McLeod, who played so well last week. Comes on for his second cap, this McLeod.
Let it go now.
Sorry, he's replaced number 4, Stuart Grimes.
Lamont not happy.
Well, he goes up for it. He catches the ball infield and takes it out. I think that's probably a good decision by the referee or the linesman.
His foot also looked to be on the line.
It was unfortunate, maybe.
That's all right.
Japanese line-out has stolen a few from the Scots this evening. Very good maul too. Just shy of the 22. Kasita in on the tackle. Japanese retention. Sawaki with that delicate chip. Miki's after it. Taken by Southwell. Southwell enveloped, but the ball is there. Well, there isn't much space outside this pitch.
Well, he's very, very tight there. Scott McLeod putting in a good tackle. And welcome to the sponsors' hoardings.
Step over. Cross.
Another line-out stolen by the Japanese. Buller. Kasita finds Parks. Some basics not going the way they'd want them to.
Well, very unusual not to be able to win your line-outs against the Japanese. I mean, the lifting laws obviously favour sides with genetically shorter people, but you know, they're pretty enterprising. They've always been quite innovative.
Kiso is having a field day in the line-out. Into midfield. Motoki. Japanese now getting ahead of steam. Ikeda. Motoki comes on the short ball. Just outside the Scottish 22. It's loose. And again, Mr. Cole says it's a penalty against the Scots.
Well, I think he played a long advantage there. But he's been very good at playing the advantage, Mr. Cole. Continually talking to the players. I think that's a sign of a good referee. When you try and allow the game to flow, play the advantages, and let the players play the rugby.
Well, that's a loose kick. He was hoping to put that one right down at the touchline, but it's gone pitch side of that corner flag, so it will be a scrum to the Scots from the point of the kick.
Wind up top. Engage.
Hogg. Henderson moves it wide. Again, the Japanese were waiting.
Number 6, off the scrum.
Offside against Okubo.
But again, there's
Number 6. Back 10.
good playing of the
Yep.
advantage. Clearly no advantage going for Scotland. The tackle in the midfield, Hinchelwood wrapped up. Good refereeing.
Scotland's most capped hooker, Gordon Bullock. Nearly 35 minutes gone. At last, the Scots win a line out. They drive it. Jacobson just ahead of the ball there. McLeod with him. The Japanese trying to take them to the touchline.
It's a maul. No, back you go. Number 6, no. Taking the legs.
Trying to collapse them all there. He's going to have a word.
No, there was already one of your players there. So it is a maul. There was, no. Okay. But listen, that's twice from you. Okay, no more. No more. Twice collapsing them all. No more. Collapsing them all.
Naoya Okubo penalised for collapsing the maul, the 29-year-old. And if it's a maul, you can't bring it down. Quicker line out this time. McLeod secures. Jacobson in the ball. Bullock.
All the way, Red.
McFadden's with him. McLeod takes it short. He seemed to run into Hines. Kerr over it. Cussiter finds Parks to Henderson. Henderson brought down. Cussiter again to Parks. Oh, and Parks is over.
Well, again, pretty straightforward for Parks. There were lots of gaps out there. He had players outside him who could have scored, but in that case, he just little sidestep. Again, good drive and set up by Henderson. Lots of options for Parks. All the Japanese coming across for the corner flag.
Dan Parks celebrating his 9th cap with his first try for his country. Scots are in a commanding lead. Patterson with this conversion. He can't miss them this evening.
Well, really, Scotland have this game by the scruff of the neck. They can do virtually what they want to do now. The forwards are dominating. The only shaky bit is the line-out, as you've been pointing out, John, but they're dominating the scrum, they're dominating the loose exchanges, which gives them so many options.
It's a handy half-time score. Still a few minutes to go, though. Petrie doesn't panic, Petrie.
Offside. Waiting. Play at 9. Holding blue.
Originally from Australia, of course, Dan Parks. Plays for Glasgow.
Play out 2.
This is good play with the Japanese. Miki out to Kubota. Kubota taken high by Hinchelwood. Japanese are very, very narrow. Big blue line of defence across the pitch coming back. It's turnover ball. McLeod in there. Cussiter to Patterson at standoff, given a roving commission. And Dan Parks clears any danger.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Scotland play this second half. it'll be a real test for them, because everybody expects them to win the match. The game is pretty much won at the moment, and the question is whether they can continue to apply the pressure, continue to turn the screw, and just keep forcing Japan on the back foot and keeping the tries and the scoreboard ticking over.
It's interesting, Doddy talking before the game. There's the possession. Before the game about how this might be Scotland's strongest team, but remember on the bench is Jason White, and John Petrie has just ripped that out the back of the maul, and he has crossed. What an individual try by John Petrie.
Well, oh no, did that come about? It's like he's a little bit surprised himself. But here comes the line out. Well, you see Japan had it pretty much tied up, Petrie, but, well, he was just in at the side there, and he just ripped the ball away, and away he goes. He's got lots of pace there. Easy.
Well, Petrie really has been in sparkling form. Dundee player originally, of course, deserved that try. Well, he hasn't missed so far. The referee's whistle's gone for half-time. Scotland leading by 36 points to 8.
Well, it was a bit shaky to begin with for Scotland, but they've really controlled the second period of this first half, and they've just dominated proceedings. They've got lots of options, and the question is whether they can just continue more of the same in the second half.
Well, Scotland looked to be cruising until the Japanese scored this try by Daimon down the left wing. A very good one it was too. But Patterson got into the record books for Scotland as the second top scorer of all time with this, Scotland's third try. And it's a convincing Scotland. Here at McDermott Park, they're beating Japan by 36 points.
Willie, the scoreline makes pleasant reading. What aspects of the performance pleased you most?
Sorry, Andy, I didn't quite hear you there.
The performance in the first half, what pleased you most about the performance?
Yeah, we were looking for a bit of a consistency as we were looking at half-time for the second half, and a little bit more precision in our set play and obviously in our contact play. But there was some fantastic scores there in the first half, and when we put our face together, they looked very good.
Lineouts didn't function too well. Have you rectified that in the half-time?
Yeah, we lost a couple when Stuart went off, and after that we hope to get that sorted out in at half-time.
Thanks, Willie.
Willie Anderson then with Andy Nicol. Second half to come then. Scotland 36-8 in front. Let's get back to David and John.
Chaisiko Sawaki ready to start this second half. Which he does, and the Scots have a few changes on. Mike Blair is on for Cussiter. Robbie Russell's on for Gordon Bullock. Obviously a few thoughts on next weekend already.
And on the Japanese side as well, number 18,
Miki.
Philadelphia has placed number 5.
Blair has a big chance tonight to try to get his name back into the reckoning. Had to play very much second fiddle to Cussiter. Good take by Russell. Blair snapping at the heels. Parks, Southwell, Henderson, Hogg on the left wing.
Well, hanging on in the tackle there, Ali Hogg. Scotland starting off to use the full width of the pitch as they kind of finished the first half there. There you can see Ali Hogg at the bottom of that ruck. Support just not quite quick enough.
Attendance is 10,278.
Here we are.
41 minutes gone. 36-8 the score. Matoki finds the big Tongan Fitliki Mao, who's come onto the pitch, normally a number 8. Good piece of decoy running. Hinchelwood in with the tackle. They're over the Scottish 22, down that blind side again. Grimes is back on. Head bandage there in the middle of that ruck.
Well, I think he thought he probably got away with that, but in fact the ball went forward there. Matoki just dropped it, tried to ground it. Good refereeing again.
Petrie did well there, was caught behind his pack. Blair, Parks. We might get to see one of these kicks in slow motion just to show you how he deliberetely slices the ball.
Slightly worrying, that scrum. John Petrie had to pick up off a retreating platform. Scotland actually dominated the scrums in the first half. We're pushing Japan all over the place, wheeling them around. Just maybe need to make sure they don't lose concentration.
Early jump.
Japanese wanting to speed things up. Referee says it wasn't knocked on. Sawaki, Miki, Kubota is at the bottom of that one.
Well, the first one wasn't a knock on, but the second one was. No, Scotland just need to concentrate here in the scrums.
Crouch and hold.
Make sure they get that right platform right.
Parks with a big pass to Lamont. Finds Southwell. Patterson steps on the gas. Great play by Japanese centre Koboti there. Came back to defend. Just lost it though. Great positioning by the Japanese number 12, who just spotted that Patterson kick.
Scotland using the width of the field very well. You just wonder actually if they had the extra 2 metres, if there was on the football pitch, the Patterson might have had a bit more. But look at that lovely pass there by Parks. He really does create space on the outside by those passes. I mean, I think defensively he's not as strong as some fly halves, but his distribution, I think, and his passing is absolutely first rate.
Chris Patterson back on his feet. Grimes calling for the quick one again. The Scots have lost their line-out ball. Japanese, though, very slow to get this one away.
Onside. Come from the back.
Mao making his presence felt. Sawaki finds touch.
Alan Jacobson and Mao having a wee bit of a set to there. Well, that's another line out Scotland have lost on their throw, 2 in succession.
The Australians will want the video, because next weekend it's Australia. No way through for the Japanese. They're on the halfway line. Ikeda loses it. Grimes turns over. Very, very messy. Hogg, McFadden, Parks. Patterson is in the clear. If this ball bounces, he follows on. He is so electric, Patterson.
Very well worked again, that by Scotland. Intelligent play by Parks, bearing it, that time the little kick into the box. Grimacing a wee bit, but he'll be delighted.
Well, he's played 15 tests at fullback, 6 at fly half, where he'd played for Gala. Now he's had 27 on the wing, and no wonder. Kicked beautifully, perfect.
Yes, I mean, there were 4 Japanese defenders there. That was really the only option from Parks, and the ball sat up beautifully for Patterson. But look at that patience, didn't hurry.
Well, we said that Patterson could get to second in the points table. He has done that. Andy Irvine had 273 points, a long way to go to catch Gavin Hastings on 667.
So Chris Patterson's second try means we score early in the second half. This Japan 8, Scotland 41.
31 tests consecutively before injury on the summer tour in 2004. He's on fire tonight.
Well, it's the Chris Patterson show, isn't it?
Well, the fullback Ryoki Miki comes off the pitch to be replaced by Hideyuki Yoshida for his 5th cap from the Kobe Steel Club as well. Petrie is dynamite at kickoffs.
Japan has changed number 15.
Hogg, spaces everywhere. Russell finds McFadden, adjusts the ball, keeps going. Blair. Patterson at scrum half now. Parks with a long one. Hinchelwood, quick passing to Lamont. Lamont, big, strong. Grimes at scrum half. Well, this is good play because Blair was waiting for this one. What a score by Blair. He was hanging around the right wing. Parks knew it. He knew it.
Well, again, it was great play by Scotland. Obviously well worked. Blair completely out of the picture. He was very flat, very wide, and a lovely finish. Well, I think if I was a skipper, I'd probably fine him for that finish.
Somersault makes it 7 tries to 1. Five from 7. Scored 71 points in the last World Cup and tonight. He's everywhere.
It was actually great continuity which got Scotland into that position. That was just the finish. Again, a variation of tactics, but some wonderful interplay. Beautiful passing out of the tackle by Ali Hogg. Good hands by McFadden. Great sort of forward work to get them into that position.
Fair play to the Japanese. They haven't given up. But 40 points of a gap, which you were telling me beforehand wasn't what the bookies were saying.
No, well, it was about 35 points a Scotland victory, and I wasn't confident enough to buy it.
Parks is through. Mr. Cole said it went forward.
Well, I felt last weekend that Australia just took their foot off the gas in the second half a little bit. Scotland played a lot better in the second half, but I think the signature of good sides is whether you can just continue to apply pressure.
Smiling Matt Williams.
Onside, blue.
Motoki took the direct route.
Holding.
Well, that's almost an admission of defeat when you can't attack ball in hand, and Raman is through the middle. Very good pass to Kubota, unfortunately.
The ball is there.
Henderson, and Henderson is through for try number 8.
Well, straightforward for Henderson. It was an easy overlap in the end. But Lamont was the one who set that one up. A lovely sliding run despite the pass to the Japanese centre. Great work by Scotland to win it back. And again, Henderson had a man outside him, so plenty of numbers. Great support by Scotland. This is where the turnover came. Alistair Hogg put the tackle in.
And Chris Patterson's conversion leaves the scores now Japan
55 points to 8. And as David said, there were men over here. Henderson just had to pin his ears back and take that ball over the line. Scots are winning by 55 points to 8. And the only area of concern tonight, David, might be the line-out. Everything else has been up there.
Yes, I agree. It was a bit harem-scare in the first 10 or 15 minutes, but once they settled down, it was very much one-way traffic.
Play on, it went back. Parks. Picked up beautifully by Hinchelwood.
Roll away. Tackle, roll away.
I've not seen that. That's sort of improvisation at its best, isn't it?
Back, Red. Bring them back.
Another line out. Secured by Grimes. Parks. Henderson. Run around from Parks. Lamont. Very hard to put down, Lamont. Hogg got that one back. He went in. Russell.
No clean out, guys. No clean out. Holding on.
Well, you have to say, John, I don't think the Japanese tackling has been quite of the international class calibre.
The number 8 Miyushi was saying that one of the big problems with Japanese rugby is that the corporations in Japan are as interested in how the game looks as to who ultimately comes out on top, and these players will play in front of 50,000 people back in their homeland, but not always with that edge of having to win or to lose.
Well, we had Super 12s 2 or 3 years ago, which were very, very high-scoring matches, where the focus was on running the ball at every opportunity rather than actually defence. And England have been a side which have won matches by just completely resilient defence.
Well, one of the most Japanese experienced men, Yukio Motoki, comes off to be replaced by Fukuyama, and Graham Henderson is on now for Hinchelwood. Graham Morrison.
Quiet! Hands off now, work! Onside.
Henderson in with the big tackle.
Leave it! Leave it! Ball's there.
And there really has been no way through for these Japanese ever since that first try.
Leave it, please! Roll away!
Scots have it. Hines, Petrie.
Roll away, roll away.
Parks. Southwell. Blair. Another little dink through for Patterson. Southwell's on it though. Oh, it's going to be another try for Patterson. What an afternoon he is having. That's his second try today.
Well, again, a lovely chip through by Mike Blair. And the luck of the bounce, I think. Outside of the foot, Southwell and Patterson coming through. Not a great clearance there. And just straightforward for Scotland. I have to say it's slightly depressing if you're a Japanese supporter, but from a Scottish perspective, I think they're retaining their concentration so well. They're just continuing to apply the pressure, and it's a great performance.
It is a rout. 60 points to 8. When people were daring to hope maybe 40.
8, Scotland 60.
Now scored 9 tries, and this was the 9th.
Well, again, trying to get it wide at every opportunity. But look at that lovely little dink on the outside of the foot. Poor defence by Japan. He should really have either gone down it or stuck it into the back row of the stand. So a little bit soft.
Well, this is the man they all say you don't want to be anywhere near in tackling practice. Jason White, 6'5", 17.5 stone, playing down south now, of course. And Gordon Ross is now on for Dan Parks. So the Scots definitely thinking of that massive second game against Australia next weekend. You can see it live on the BBC. Kickoff 2:45 from Hampden, of course. Ross. Patterson on the left wing. Blair. Well, the Scots are absolutely running riot here.
And the quality of some of the handling's fantastic as well. They're controlling the ball in contact and putting some beautiful hands in. Again, last time, just up the tight side. Lovely give and take passes by the Scots.
Russell to put this in. White lifts Grimes, gives him that extra bit of height. Morrison is also big and strong. Right in front of the posts. White. Hines. This is good play. Henderson. Lamont. Back to Henderson. Might have just been held before he got the ball. Scots are in there. McFadden is left. Ross tried the little kick through, has another attempt, passes it out. That's a try for Morrison. Celebrates his 4th cap with a try, does Graham Morrison from Glasgow. First score for Scotland.
Well, it was all getting a little bit untidy up that tight side. A little bit of juggling around. And then the overhand basketball type pass there from Gordon Ross. A little bit cluttered. Lucky bounce. I reckon even I might have managed that one.
Very, very good hands though from Ross. Gordon Ross just with that overhead pass. Patterson with the kick. Scots are leading by 65 points to 8. Well, they will be happier.
67.
You have to remember that this Japanese side have been deprived of a lot of their regular players. It's not the same side that was actually very, very competitive against Scotland in Townsville up until the last 15 minutes of the match in the World Cup. Scotland eventually winning 34-15.
Scotland 15's actually played 4 non-cap internationals against the Japanese, losing one of them 28-24 Tokyo 1989, so things have changed. Well, the Japanese have no answer to this pack at the moment. Mauling up the pitch, they're almost at the halfway line.
Oh, great control, great discipline by Scotland. Look at that drive, protecting the ball, staying on the feet. I just wonder if it's slight chuck and trailering.
Keep working straight, guys. Keep working straight. Crouch and hold and go. Stay bound. Lay on, off the red.
This is already a record score over Japanese in test matches, of course.
Rock, hands out, no hands.
That game in '91 was only one of the 2 tests that have been played. They won 47-9. Henderson, Blair, Lamont, Blair thinks twice. Kerr, the big man from Leeds, stands tall, brought to ground. Ross, Grimes. Oh, Morrison with real quick feet again. White, a metre short. Blair, Patterson, Ross. Lamont must be over. He is.
Well, what's impressing me is Scotland are retaining the ball so well. They're being so patient in their build-up and so clinical in their finishing. Again, a lovely pass there by Parks. And Donny McFadden actually did well to get his head out the way of that pass to Sean Lamont.
It was very good play. Great pass by Ross. Lamont, ball in 2 hands. Cracking try. Scots have scored 11 tries. It's 74 points to 8.
Scotland 70.
Remember, England have just beaten the Canadians by 70-0 today. Ireland beat South Africa.
Scotland made another change. Number 18, Scott McLeod is back on. He's replaced number 4, Stuart Grimes.
McLeod back on for Grimes. The Japanese are taking Hisadomi from the field, putting on Masahito Yamamoto. He plays for Toshiba. Well, Petrie is breaking every tackle possible. Russell.
And Japan have been a change as well.
Jacobson in to help.
Number
Ross.
17.
Playing well, Ross.
Mitsugu Yamamoto has replaced
Ross's mum, of course, looks after Jack McConnell's house. Ross. Morrison. McFadden. Great hands. Kerr. McFadden. Ross. Jacobson. Blair. Ross. Great continuity. Southwell. Petrie. White, just knocked it on.
Oh, what a shame. Jason White, they did all the hard work. They got in behind them. And then just knocked out of his hands in the tackle. With the Japanese tackling, and the defence is really all
They
but
have no
non-existent.
answer, do they? Just to remind you, the Scots have scored 11 tries. We still have 13 minutes to go. On comes Takeyato Yamaguchi
Up to the mark, Red, right up.
for Nayo Okubo,
Square and steady.
who gave royalties early on.
Another change. Number 19, Takatoyo Yamaguchi has replaced number 6, Naoya
Bind up.
I think it's also interesting this week, the contrast in the Scottish bench. When you get players like Jason White coming on, they're really players who get significant impact.
Well, there you are. The Scots have had nearly 80% of the ball.
Binding.
Alan Jacobson is about to leave the field to be replaced by Craig Smith. Jacobson's played well. He looks like a man who knows how to put in a shift. Sawaki. Tackled by Ross. Playing advantage. Blair with a very neat little offload. Oh, Ross looks for Lamond. It doesn't quite get to him.
Pass slightly ambitious there. Scotland with 26 errors against 17, but when you've got 80% of the possession, it's hardly surprising that you're going to make a much higher number of errors. But when you think about it, they haven't been too glaring. There are a few unforced errors in the early stages when Scotland were really rushing a little bit, but for the majority of this match, they've been very, very controlled in what they've been doing.
Yamaguchi took that in. To what extent, David, is this a commanding Scottish performance or a disappointing Japanese one? McFadden! Oh, doing a Petrie! McFadden stole the ball from them all, and he's crossed for a try. That's his first try for his country on his 7th cap, and he really is a great player, McFadden.
Well, you're absolutely right. It was just a complete replica of John Petrie's try towards the end of the first half. Perfectly legitimate stretch, no one holding him. But to answer your question, I think it is quite a commanding performance by Scotland because they've continued to apply the pressure. It would be very easy for them to just to take the foot off the gas and to, you know, try and play 7 sort of rugby, very loose.
Patterson dissects the posts. And McFadden is very much the next generation of wing forward for Scotland. He started the last 4 tests first touch, and his first game was against Japan. And today he scores his first try.
Well, I think the lack of a genuine open side was a bit of a problem for Scotland in the World Cup. Andrew Moore obviously injured and is now retired. Fadjian has impressed me pretty much every time he's played for Scotland.
Japan have made another change. Number 20, Kiyonori Tanaka, was replaced number 9, Wataru Ikeda.
Scoreboard says it all, 81 points to 8. We still have 10 minutes left.
Well, I was...
Blair disrupts.
Well, I was chatting to Doddy on the way into the game, and we were discussing what the margin of victory should be, and we reckon maybe 45 to 55. The bookies had it at 35, and I was rather regretting I didn't buy that, but there we go.
Japanese on the attack. Good tackle by Morrison, though they're just short. Yamamura's there, kicked away. It'll be a penalty to the Japanese.
Well, for once, Scotland just a little bit loose. One loose pass, well picked up, well intercepted by the Japanese.
And here they will try to restore some pride. Pride that's been severely dented. Yoshida to kick for the corner. It'll be a Japanese line out, 5, 6, 7 meters out. 8 minutes left. And Yamaoka to throw. Kiso again with the ball. Japanese on the rumble. They're a meter short. They're over.
Time out, guys. Christoph, yeah. Can you just check whether that ball was grounded?
Well, the test match official will be watching what you watch. It was a great take by Kiso, this 6'5", number 7. The Japanese drove them all.
So we're just waiting for a decision from the video referee on this one.
Well, it's difficult to see. The linesman was there. There you can see the ball in. It's being held up by Hines. Hines appears to fall underneath him, but you just can't see the ball there.
Okay, the ball is not grounded. It's rather than 5 meters. Thank you. Hold up.
The official says the ball's not grounded. Nathan Hines to thank for that. Scrum to Japan. Another quick free kick by the Japanese.
Onside, Blue. Onside.
Sawake. Long missed pass. Daimon, the try scorer. And the Scots have won it. Blair hits the ball down the field.
Well, 10 turnovers to 1 for Scotland. And that one of the most crucial. But again, you talked about the performance, the resilience in defence, the determination to stop Japan from scoring it with 7 minutes left on the clock. It's terrific defence by Scotland. A great indication of how determined they were to put in a convincing performance tonight. And it has been.
Well, Mitsugo Yamamoto comes on for Takashi Yamaoka. And the Japanese really have struggled this afternoon. Scots have scored 12 tries.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a presentation for winning captain at the end of this game, so please stick around for that.
Let's go.
McLeod with a basketball player's hands to Smith. Smith has care with him. Blair waits. He gets it. White. Russell. They're up to the Japanese 10-metre line. Ross. Southwell.
Let it go, Red, let it go. Randy. Offside. Not bound. Offside. Hands. Right back there.
Well, if there's one aspect of the Scottish performance that they really need to get right before next weekend, it's this bit which is going to come up now. It's the line-out.
Hold it. No.
Taken by White. The run around. Dummy move down the blind side. Back to Russell. That's a very, very good try. Fake to the open. Down the blind for Russell. Scotland's 13th try in what is a demolition job.
Well, once the line-out worked like a dream, pre-planned move, Mike Blair, Rob Russell. Again, great pace, nice finish. Just a well-worked set piece by Scotland.
Was to take him past 300.
So the score is now Japan 8, Scotland 86.
It was a try that worked so well. Taken deep in the line-out, fake to the open, Blair blind to Russell, who just, well, he had to run 15 yards.
Scrum option. Scrum.
Go look, set it low. Go look through.
Wait for the call. Crouch and hold. Engage.
Lamont. Gordon Ross is having a great game at standoff. Might well have forced his way back in here after this one. Henderson.
Roll away, tackler.
It's a big blue blanket. Ross again spraying these passes. Southwell just... Oh, good try.
Yeah, it was a good try, but it was very weak tackling. A lovely pass again by Ross. There's one tackle he runs through. There's another tackle. He's actually held, and he just steps out of it. I don't think the Australians would be as shoddy as that. But look at that by Tanaka.
Very powerful running though by Southwell. Look how he keeps his legs pumping. Dive for good measure. It's in off. Well, Patterson has already gone into second place in the record books for Scotland. This takes him over 300. Second to Gavin Hastings, overtook Andy Irvine tonight and thoroughly deserved.
93. And that is Scotland's
93.8. The significance of the result tonight is that Scotland have scored the most points in an international. The previous record was against Ivory Coast. That was 89-0. In Rustenburg, of course. Tonight, 93.8. Blair. Ross plucked it out the air. Long pass by Ross. Patterson Smith on the wing. Could have put it away. McFadden. Kerr. Ross is at scrum half. Patterson, such quickness. Rescued by McLeod. Russell's in there. To keep this ball alive, they go over 100. Otherwise, we hear the whistle will blow. Stays alive with a penalty, of course. Real time is up. 80 minutes and 11 seconds. Well, you can hear the crowd here at McDermott Park. It's been a great choice of venue. 10,000 people.
Yeah, good decision by the SIU. 10,000 people. 10,000 people would rattle around in Murrayfield. And wouldn't they be delighted if Scotland could get to three figures?
One good line-out. If the ball goes dead, it's over. If they score, they breach 100 points. Russell. Oh, Robbie Russell's over. What a night it's been. Well, the Scots break 100 points for the first time in Test rugby if they get this conversion over. And how fitting it would be if Chris Patterson slots this, and he does. The final score is Scotland 100. I repeat, Scotland 100, Japan 8. And that man, Matt Williams, must be delighted.
Well, Chris Patterson's had a wonderful evening, but it's been a great team effort. They've dominated up front, they've played all the options, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful celebration of rugby up in Perthshire. The crowd are absolutely thrilled with this victory, a record victory for Scotland, and don't they just deserve it?
We have been treated to 15 tries this evening. The last by Robbie Russell. Chris Patterson there, I think, saying go and say well done to the fans. And they respond. They've enjoyed this tonight, and some kids are on the pitch there.
Well, for once, a Scottish line-out working to perfection. Robbie Russell, again, very shoddy Japanese defence. He just picked up 3-4 tacklers under the posts, and a dream finish for Scotland.
Well, no one expected this result. There's the trophy that will be presented tonight. The Abbey Trophy. and well, the Japanese look dejected, and maybe they'll have to think as to how they prepare for these games in future. That was Daimon, the try scorer. Japanese are applauded off the pitch. We've had, as I say, 15 tries. Japan with just that one try after 5 minutes by Daimon, and the Scots will be more than happy at a game that many people thought might be 40 points to 15, something like that. The crowd rise to Patson. Petrie, another great game in the blue. McFadden sealed his place. McLeod too showed great hands.
Well, 64 unanswered points in the second half. Great performance by Scotland.
And there's the Scottish Rugby Union president on the right, Gordon Dixon. And on his right is Lawrence Kilgallen, the key relationship manager for Abbey, who will present the trophy to the winning captain, who is, of course, Gordon Bullock. Well, a delighted Chris Patson is pitch side with Andy Nicol.
Chris, fantastic performance by Scotland. You must be delighted with that.
We are, yeah. It's the first win in Scottish soil for over a year now, and that was the most important thing. We had to go out there and win. And there's a lot of positive aspects in the second half last week against Australia. The opposition, didn't try less hard today. It was just a slightly lesser standard. But we started to go out there. We had to keep possession. We had to run our plays, and we did that. And we fought out a win.
How much confidence will this give you going into the next 2 weekends, which obviously will be tough for opposition?
The biggest confidence is the result, really. You have to win these games. We did that. We play Australia at Hampden next week. But it gives everybody a buzz. It gives us fans a buzz. It gives the management have worked so hard. Now we've got the reward of that first victory on Scottish soil. And the players who were out there will tell you, the hits are physical. It's hard work. It's abrasive. And to score those many tries, it's credit to the guys' abilities under these conditions.
On a personal level, Chris, you became the second highest point scorer ever in Scotland and over 300 points with your 40 today. You must be delighted with your own personal performance.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, the point thing, it's a kicker's sort of role, isn't it? I was reasonably happy. I didn't strike the couple of misses that well. I was really disappointed about that. But we look forward to next weekend. We know that was an easier game. There's going to be a big mountain to climb next week.
Well, those 40 points, Chris, made you Abbey man of the match. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, we've seen history made at McDowell.